I'm here. Hi.
Okay. So, hi everybody. I'm Denise with the Nightingale. I'm the Nightingale Program Manager at Healthcare Originals. I'm a respiratory therapist and certified asthma educator, and I'd like to welcome all our asthma and COPD heroes to our second Nightingale Live session. Last month, Jan, a respiratory therapist here, did our first session on meter dose inhalers and nebulizers. That is now posted on both the Asthma and COPD Heroes by Nightingale group websites, so you can watch those. We'd love to know who is here, so please type your first name and state into the chat. I'm in New Hampshire, while Jan is in Colorado. Today's session will be led by Sarah, our health and wellness coach in New York. Sarah, Jan, and I will answer your questions about being more active. So please put your questions in the Q&A section, and we'll be sure to get to those. And right now, we're going to give people a few more minutes to log in, and then we'll get started. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We are so excited to be bringing these live sessions. We are planning on doing them once a month on different topics. So certainly if you have suggestions on topics, questions, certainly feel free to reach out to us either through the Asthma Hero site or through the chat here. And also, we're starting to do once a month polls, and in those polls, we'll list some of the topics. And if you give us ideas on topics, we'll throw those in there, and we'll see, the ones that get the most hits or the most interest will be the ones that we're going to try to choose to be able to continue to do these sessions live every month. And so for now, please put your name and where you're from in the chat so that we know where we're touching in the whole United States. So looking forward to bringing you this presentation today and any more in the future. So again, I'm Denise, for anyone that's just signing on. I'm the Nightingale Program Manager, a respiratory therapist and certified asthma educator. I have with me Jan, who is one of our respiratory therapists, and also Sarah, who's our speaker today, who's our health and wellness coach. And we are looking forward to talking more about moving and being more active, especially when you have a respiratory condition like asthma or COPD. It can be a challenge because you can't do the things you used to do like you used to do them or as fast as you used to do them. And so, great. And so thank you. I see Sharon is here and I see Cindy is here. And that is awesome. So please sign in through the audience, through the chat with your first name and the state that you're from. And we'd be, and certainly throughout, under Q&A, you can add in any questions you have about exercise, movement, exertion, whatever you want to call it, activity. I know, it all becomes a challenge when you can't breathe. But it's still important to stay active, for your joints, for your lungs, for your heart, and just for your overall mood. When you have to just sit somewhere in front of a TV all day, that certainly doesn't brighten anybody's mood. So, yeah. Okay. So, all right. We'll give people another minute. We'll start it at 5 past the hour. And then we will get started. In the meantime, please sign in with your name, where you're from, what state. And it's great to see Sharon and Cindy. And again, I'm Denise, the Nightingale Program Manager and respiratory therapist, certified asthma educator for those that are just coming in. Jan is our respiratory therapist. She also did our first Nightingale Live last month. And Sarah is going to do our second Nightingale Live program on moving more and being more active with respiratory conditions. So, all right, I'll let Sarah take it from here. And we'll all be back at the end and answer some of your questions.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you again for joining us. As Denise said, my name is Sarah Morgan, and I'm Nightingale's Health and Wellness Coach. Um, just a little bit about me. I have a master's degree in exercise science and health promotion. I'm a board certified health and wellness coach, registered yoga teacher, and certified personal trainer. And later this year, I'll be starting a meditation teacher training. So you can see I'm into all things mind, body, and spirit. But today we're talking about how to help yourself be more physically active. Now, this is a topic with tons of information, so we're just planning on going over the basics today. If you have any questions, just like Denise said, add them to the Q&A section of the chat and we'll make sure that they get answered. All right, let's get started. First things first, always consult your healthcare provider before beginning any type of exercise program. The information we're covering today is very general and for educational purposes only. So always connect with your healthcare provider first and follow their recommendations specifically for you. So I thought we would start by taking a look at why it's so hard to be physically active when you have a respiratory condition. So, the first thing to really understand is that your body requires energy in order to move. And we essentially have two energy systems. We have the anaerobic energy system, which uses a form of sugar to produce energy. And then we have the aerobic system, which uses oxygen for energy production. So, when you have trouble breathing, it's harder for your body to get the oxygen it needs to help your working muscles. And now, this added effort causes an increase in heart rate, an increase in blood pressure, an increase in breathing rate, which I'm sure you've experienced at some point. This increased effort means that you get tired faster. And when you get tired faster, you end up moving less. And when you end up moving less, that decrease in movement leads to muscle atrophy, deconditioning, or just that feeling of being out of shape, right? If you don't use it, you lose it, is very, very true when it comes to fitness. So the less you move, the harder it is to move. But the good news is that you can improve your fitness even if you have a respiratory condition. So now let's talk about how to do that, how to improve your fitness. In order to be more active, you need to improve your muscular fitness and your cardiorespiratory fitness. This enables your body to use energy more efficiently. And as you improve your fitness, what you're doing is really asking your body to adapt to new demands. That's really how you gain fitness. Simply put, this means you need to ask your body to do more than what's easy for you to do right now. For your muscles, this means doing something for longer than normal, which improves your muscular endurance. It could also look like lifting or carrying something heavier than normal, which improves your muscular strength. For your heart and lungs, this means spending more time with an increased heart rate and increased breathing rate than what's currently normal for you. But this is where it gets very tricky. How do you know how much to do? How do you know where the line is between safe exercise and putting yourself at risk? So let's go over a few tips to stay safe when you're being physically active. The very first tip, I'm sure you can guess it, is talk to your healthcare provider about what is safe for you to do and follow their recommendations. Remember, it's not enough to just ask them about it. You need to actually implement their recommendations and care plan for you. So ask about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Ask about when you should take your medications, including your oxygen, and how you should track your exertion during physical activity. Remember, We're all different. Everybody is different. We all have different situations, we have different needs, different abilities, and different limitations. So do what's right for you and always follow your provider's recommendations. The second tip is to monitor your effort. Now, you can do this by monitoring your oxygen or your heart rate or even rate of perceived exertion. Maybe you've heard of that, the RPE scale. This is another reason why you need to discuss exercise with your healthcare provider, though, so they can talk to you about what is recommended for you and how you should monitor your exertion. During exercise is a good time to use those different breathing techniques to help you control your breathing. And by the way, if you're interested in learning more about controlling your breathing, you may want to check out our first series in the Healthy Lungs by Nightingale, a virtual exercise journey. Our first series is all about optimal breathing, and we go over different tips and techniques in that series. So I think we'll add a link to the chat just in case anybody's interested. But back to monitoring your effort. Of course, you always want to stop if you are feeling too short of breath, or you're feeling dizzy, or you're feeling any pain or discomfort. Now, exercise can be a bit uncomfortable by nature, anyways, but it should never, ever, ever be painful or scary. The whole pain is a weakness leaving the body saying really has no place here or anywhere, in my opinion, but just focus on what is right for you. Try not to compare your progress to anyone else's. Third tip, make sure you're giving your body the rest it needs. The amount of rest you need really depends on the amount and type of exertion you're doing. So your body needs to recover and rebuild to make fitness gains. So make sure you're actually listening to your body. If you find that you need more rest on days when you're active, make sure you're taking it. All you can do is just be patient with your progress and remember that anything is better than nothing. Every single step, every single decision that we make is progress, right? So anytime we're doing something where we're making some sort of improvement or making a decision to improve is always going to be better. So now that we've discussed how to improve your physical activity and what to look out for, let's talk about the options for increasing physical activity. So what types of things can you do? Well, there are lots of different forms of exercise and physical activity. And keep in mind, again, everybody is different. So not all of these ideas may work for you or even be advisable for you. So again, check with your provider. Unfortunately, most people hear the word exercise and they just picture those traditional forms that we're used to seeing, like lifting weights or spending time on a treadmill or a bike at the gym, something like that. But that's definitely not all there is. You could try doing different functional exercises, which functional training is really about taking exercises or activities that mimic and improve daily life activities. So things like carrying groceries, picking up things off the floor, getting in and out of the car, walking or climbing stairs, things like that. And with functional exercises, you could simply just repeat these activities a few times, all depending on where your starting point is right now. So, um, even sitting down to sit in a chair and standing up again, kind of doing a squat like that. Additionally, you could explore other types of movements that you might not associate with exercise, but things like dancing or water walking, hiking, just going for a walk in nature, table tennis, gardening, gentle yoga, chair yoga. Really, anything that you can think of, anything that moves your body. And especially, it's going to be good if you find it pleasurable or you enjoy doing it. Because really, the best exercise is going to be what you will do, right? What you are going to enjoy doing and what you will actually do. So, if you're looking for more information around being more active, our next Healthy Lungs by Nightingale video series is all about physical activity. So, look for that series coming in the spring. And that's when we're going to take more of a deep dive into this topic. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how you can help yourself be more physically active. And now we can take a look at some of those questions. So I'm going to have Denise and Jan come back in here, and then we'll head over to the Q&A and see if we can get some questions answered. All right. Let's
Hi,
see.
everyone.
Okay. Hi. So, one of the things that I wanted to bring up was when you're exercising, remember if you wear oxygen, to put your oxygen on, whatever your doctor tells you. And so, for some people, and not everyone, some people will stay at a low number on their oxygen and turn it up when they're active. And being active, I mean, it could be walking from your couch to your kitchen or walking to your bathroom. Things like that, you want to be sure you wear your oxygen. For some people, especially people with exercise induced asthma, you want to take your bronchodilator or your rescue medicine, your albuterol, whatever you want to call it, about 20 minutes, a half hour before you do the activity. And that is to open up the lungs. Because as you know, those rescue medicines work right away, but they don't, but they peak in about 20 minutes. So that's why we usually say, take it ahead of time so that you'll be optimized or at your optimal breathing capacity when you start the activity or exercise.
That's a great point, Denise. A lot of people think that that's always a rescue inhaler if you have asthma, but we don't really count pre exercise use of your albuterol inhaler in asthma as a rescue because exercise can actually make your asthma trigger. So, a lot of your providers will encourage you, like Denise just did, to do that inhaler before you have any exercise. And that way you won't get bronchospasm once you start to exercise. Also, to what Sarah said, she gave you great information about functional exercise and lifting groceries and stuff like that. And I love that we can do things just even if you're sitting on your recliner or in your chair. You can grab a couple of 1 pound weights, you can grab some soup cans, and you can actually just do some lifting of any weights like that while you're watching your favorite TV show. You can march in place. If you're sitting in your chair, just lift your legs, just move your legs. Any movement at all gets those muscles activated. And there has been a lot of research that you use your oxygen more efficiently when you do movement. So whatever you're doing helps. If there's any little thing you can do, and a lot of times people are really amazed because they do a little bit this week and then next week they realize, oh, I can lift this more times, or I can march in place more times. Or so once you start to see that it's helping, it's really encouraging, and you're going to find you're going to want to do it more. So hang in there, try those little things that you can do, and usually you'll just find out in a week or so that you are a little bit stronger and your legs hurt a little bit less. You're a little more less short of breath doing those things.
Yeah, thank you, Jan. And I think it's good to remember too that it's about going slow, just improving a little bit at a time. We don't have to start with these huge, complicated exercise plans or anything like that. It's really just about moving a little bit more than you are right now, whether that means taking a few extra steps, spending a little bit more time standing, finding ways to, yeah, like you were saying with the soup cans or holding something or carrying something, moving your body. That's really all it's about, is just moving your body a little bit more. And we want to do it progressively. And that is, it's hard to say like, oh, well, you should do this much today and this much tomorrow because we're all different, right? We're all starting at different points. So you really have to find that self-awareness, pay attention to your body, figure out, what feels comfortable for you right now and how can you ask your body to do a little bit more today, but not so much that it's overexerting you, you know? So that's really why it's important to work with your healthcare provider, figure out what you should be aiming for, they're really going to be able to give you a better idea of what you could expect out of increasing your activity or exercise too. Yeah, and there was one thing too before it leaves my mind too about carbon dioxide. Now, when the three of us were talking last week, we were talking about how exercise can also help clear carbon dioxide too, right?
Yes, when you exercise, you're bringing in the oxygen and getting rid of the carbon dioxide. And there are certain breathing techniques that really help with that too. Your pursed lip breathing, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through pursed lips will help you. Also, leaning forward will let more room in your diaphragm to be able to move up and down and help you to get rid of some of that carbon dioxide and bring in more oxygen. So we do have also, just so you know, some videos on that on our Healthy Lungs website. Where we have some of our free videos out right now, and we will be starting in February with some of our subscriptions that for those that are interested. Right now we're doing our optimal breathing series, and as Sarah said, our next series after that will be more on movement and activity and exercise and just trying to become healthier. We want you to be the best that you can be, so you want to be, what did they say now, the best that I can be in 23 or something like that. So we're all here to help you with that. And we really appreciate that you're all part of our Asthma and COPD Heroes groups. We love looking and interacting with you guys and seeing some of the help that you give each other. That is awesome, because what's better than the voice of experience? It's great to have the knowledge and the book knowledge, but when you're living with something, I remember working as a young respiratory therapist many years ago in the hospital, and I had a patient that was really upset after the doctor left the room, and she said to me, every doctor should have to get really sick when they're in medical school so they get admitted to the hospital and they know what they put you through when they want to do all these tests and everything. But it is true. I myself have lived with asthma since in fact, infancy, if you ask my mother. And so I know firsthand what it's like to not be able to breathe and to have to go to the emergency room and be put on oxygen and all this. So I do understand what you mean. And that there are days I remember as a kid looking out the window when everyone else got to play out in the snow and do things. And I had to stay in because I couldn't be out in the cold weather and all of that. So it's definitely limiting, but both asthma and COPD, even though we have no cures at this time, we can definitely manage them with medications and breathing exercises. And like Sarah did today, is just general exercise for everybody. I mean, not even just people with asthma and COPD is a good thing. And we know that that's a way to be healthier. We have our other conditions of lifestyle, things that they say we can prevent by just living a healthier lifestyle. And this is one way to get there. And we're happy to be here on this journey with you. So thank you for your time.
I just wanted to add too that we know it's discouraging, right? Anybody with a chronic condition that can't do what they've done all of their life, and they want to be out doing things and they want to be more active, it is true. It can truly be depressing. And to be able to be on the Facebook page and to talk with your friends that have the similar problems, I can see how uplifting it is when I'm checking that page. I can see how much you guys are helping each other. And I hope that you can just watch these videos and know that we are in your corner, and that we hope that you can just keep trying. Don't ever give up. Keep trying and do all that you can do a little bit at a time. See if it makes you feel better soon. But if you have any questions, ask us. We're really trying to keep an eye on these pages so we can be here for you, and never give up.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And you all have a great day. I'd say afternoon, but I know some of you it's still morning. And So wherever you are, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Bye.